What's up, Momo traders? Robbie here, back with another informational video. How are you all doing after this crazy historic week? As most of you know, the markets have been crazy lately with GameStop, Koss, AMC, Blackberry. Basically, all of the retail investors are really jumping the price to screw the hedge fund guys, which I think is awesome. And so I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about a few other things, including how I did this month and how I went from a real red beginning of the month all the way to green. And so, only smiles coming from me. I also don't want to get too deep into this, but I will explain what a short squeeze is and, explain kind of basically what happened, but in a broader term, because I'm sure you guys have seen it on the news, maybe an article on your phone or a newspaper or something. It's blowing up the media. And so let's get into it a little bit. I don't want to bore you with all of that extra information that you already know. And then also I want to talk about my predictions for next week, because I'm not sure if you're still following Wall Street Bets on Reddit, but you can see that the retail investors are not finished. They want to do a lot more damage, and so they're preparing to invest in and rake up more and more stocks and more prices so that the short investors are going to have to cover their positions and hopefully not have to lose even more money, which already I think they've lost over a couple $1 billion. Lastly, I want to talk about the scandal of Robinhood. I want to give you my take on it and give you my opinion. Once again, you could have a different opinion, but I just want to dive deep into that topic because I think it's very important for the future of investing. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about the hot topic. The hot topic being the first true momentum week that we saw. And we're Momo traders, we ride on that momentum, and so it's exciting. I've been able to make out well. I hope you guys have too, and always be prepared to ride that momentum, because momentum can skyrocket. We can all go to the moon and we can, change our lives and basically ride the momentum to financial freedom. That's the new Momo trader slogan that I came up with. I hope you like it. And one last thing, folks, before I get into the video, I do want to just say thank you for, we're almost at 40 subscribers, so thank you for those who subscribed and continue to watch the videos. It really does help the channel grow if you do like and comment and subscribe, of course, to the channel. And then lastly too, I've welcomed, I believe it was 5 or 6 new members to the Discord chat, and so that link is in my About section on my YouTube channel. Please consider joining the chat room. We can talk and you can ask questions, and we can talk about what stocks are hot. And I'm a lot of the members of my Discord chat are watching the markets, of course, and then also reading into the Reddit threads like Wall Street Bets. And so if there is a stock that's going to go to the moon, we'll talk about it there, and then you can hopefully get in early. So please don't forget that. And yeah, let's get started with the video. All right, to get started on our discussion, I think the first thing we should talk about, which we can just blow right through this, is how I made out this this month. So the month of January, the first month of 2021. Like I said, it was very choppy in the beginning of the month, and so I was pretty red. I actually did have my biggest loss, which you might have saw on my Instagram page. I lost $2,000 in 11 seconds, and so it was on ACRS, that stock. If you saw, it was extremely volatile when it was the leading gapper. Taking a $2,000 loss in 11 seconds was really rough, which I think I'm going to make a video about, biggest losses and risk management and emotions as well, because that's incredibly important when you're a stock investor or trader. You have to basically kind of persevere and not give up, and just know that eventually you will make that money back, even though, once again, losing $2,000, that's rent for some people in 11 seconds. That's pretty difficult to swallow. But I'm not here about talking about only negatives, so to the positive, this past week was my biggest week I've ever had, and that was because, like I said, ride the momentum to financial freedom. The momentum was crazy, whether it was Cat B or GameStop, Koss, or AMC, all the stocks that were just ripping up. You could make a ton of money, just even taking like $100 or 100 share position, with GameStop, it could go up $50. That's $5,000 right there. So it was crazy. But yeah, I'm very grateful for it, and I hope that momentum continues. Once again, I want to drill this definition in. The Momo trader means you're a momentum trader, and so when the market is hot, we call it, and everyone's all looking at a few specific stocks, and the price just keeps ramping up, you jump in there and you ride that momentum and just take profits every step of the way. If you're interested in doing that, then once again, watch all my other YouTube videos, and then also join our Discord chat, because we talk about strategy and things like that, and what stocks are having good momentum so that you can profit from them the most. So overall, I'm very happy. This is my most profitable month, which I'm excited for, and my growth overall as an investor has actually been growing exponentially. So I get more and more excited to see what I end up with every month. And like I said, I'll make a video about risk management, but my goal right now is to not have more than 3 red days in a month. and I think that's important to do because there's about 20 to 21 trading days in a month, and so I think 3 is okay for a beginner investor. But yeah, I mean, as long as you can minimize your losses and then minimize your red days, then no matter what, do the math, you'll be able to be profitable. I just feel fortunate enough to be able to, have this set up and actually capitalize on this momentum that we're seeing in the market. So overall, that's an update on how I did for this past month, and I cannot wait to see what happens at the beginning of February and then throughout the month. Okay, and now for the topic everyone's probably waiting for. Let's talk about the short squeeze. Like I said, I want to give you just a very elementary level definition of what's going on, because you could look into articles and different videos of people who really get into the science of it, but essentially what it is big hedge fund, the millionaires and billionaires of Wall Street, they think, and they kind of know, they're kind of right, that GameStop as a retail store is actually declining because, everyone's getting their video games from just the web and they download it, instant download, and, Game Pass and things like that. And so there's no longer a need for the brick and mortar GameStop stores. And so the hedge fund owners, they're shorting the stock. And so that means that they sold a bunch of shares and they're waiting to buy back those shares when the price gets lower and lower, and then they get to keep that profit difference between the prices. And so Wall Street Bets, what that is, that's a thread or like a group on Reddit. And so they all basically banded all of the Robinhood investors and just retail investors. I wouldn't really necessarily say day traders, like the ones that do it for a career. It seems to be more of just like the light, small time, not big time investors. They all banded together and they wanted to take some profits for themselves. And so they all invested in GameStop and all these other stocks that the hedge funds were shorting, and ripped up the price. And essentially when you short a stock, your losses can be basically infinite, because a stock can never go below zero, but it can go as high. It can go to the moon, like everyone's saying. And so they had to cover their positions, and they apparently lost like $5 billion, I saw, and this is multiple different hedge funds and people. So, and basically all of those profits went to the retail investor, which is awesome. I heard that people were paying off their student loans, and I know someone who made $200,000 off GameStop. It's crazy. It's really nice to see, the little guy take on the big dogs and get those profits, because Wall Street guys do this all the time to the little man. So it's good to reverse, reverse the tables, or how the turntables, as Michael Scott would say. So then that leads to my predictions for next week. From reading the different articles and looking at Reddit, it seems like this momentum and this trend of buying GameStop and all these other stocks are not ending. So I think next week we might see it pop back up and even maybe go even farther to the moon, maybe to Mars. You also might have heard of the craze of buying into Dogecoin, and so that like different cryptocurrencies that everyone's talking about how it'd be funny to rack that price up and make other people millionaires. I don't really invest in crypto because I know nothing about that, and I don't feel comfortable doing that because like look at Bitcoin. It has such big swings from being worth a ton of money, $40,000 per bit, and then all the way down to like being almost worthless. So too scared in investing in that. I know that millionaires can be made by cryptocurrency, but it's just not my thing. I don't have an interest in that. But anyways, I definitely think that I hope that the momentum carries on for next week, so that maybe next week can be my biggest week, beat my all-time highs, and I hope that GameStop does go to the moon, and I hope that the retail investors can profit even more and hopefully pay for housing and schooling like we want to. So those are my takes on my predictions, and then also a little informational session about what short squeeze is and why this is happening. And the last thing I want to mention too about that topic is be careful, please, retail investors, because I'm assuming you don't have a lot of experience in the market. Please be careful to always watch GameStop and these stocks and make sure that that once the trend fades, it could go all the way back down to, I think GameStop was at $20. And so if you bought a lot of shares at $500 and now it's down to $20 because the fad or the trend is gone, don't be the one holding the bag. That's really the biggest thing that you don't want to do as an investor. So please keep watching the stock, and if it seems like it's tanking a ton, then my advice, which I'm not a financial advisor, my advice is to don't be a bag holder. All right, moving on to the next topic is I want to talk about Robinhood a little bit. So when I started investing back in college, actually, I used Robinhood, and I made a little bit of money. I think I made like $800 just playing around with some extra money that I had. And so I love the app. I think the interface and the operating system is really nice and smooth, and I think it's great for beginner investors or just everyday people that want to buy a stock that they like. And so I wanted to talk about, some people are saying that they should cancel Robinhood because they were restricting the sale of shares, or the buying of shares of GameStop when this whole crazy to the moon trend was happening. And my opinion, to be straight, is I totally think it should be a free market for anyone. I think it's super inappropriate to not allow some clients to buy the shares while others can, just because like some of their clients are losing billions of dollars doesn't mean that you can stop the other clients from making that much money. I think that's crazy that they did that, and I did see that that Wall Street Bets is filed a class 1, I think, lawsuit against them, and so fingers crossed. I hope that they do actually have to pay a big fine, or maybe, I don't really know if I want them to be canceled because I do really like their app. I think it's great. I just think there needs to be some regulation in there where if your rich friends start losing a bunch of money, you can't just shut down the site and say, oh no, poor people, you guys can't invest anymore. I think that's totally terrible and against the Constitution and just against America, because free markets for all is really what I have to say. Overall, I'm excited to see where that story ends up. So, and then the last topic I wanted to talk about real quick is the SPY or SPY, and then also the Dow. And so if you look at overall the big indices, you can see that they are all declining. And so I think that's a little weird, but I also think that the markets do decline after a new president comes in, even though, whether you like Biden or not. I think it's just because there's a shakeup in leadership, and we're trying to figure out what they're going to do with the budgeting of America and the spending. I think people are getting a little skittish and they want to sell off their shares. But overall, I think we don't need to panic. I think that it will bounce. I mean, even buy the dip if you can, which is great. That's what I did. I just think it's odd that it was making all-time highs just like the other day, and then now it's just selling off. So, but the markets are weird. They do what they do. It's an ebb and flow. It's highs and lows. And so our job, once again, as Momo traders, is right when it dips down, you want to ride the momentum right back up. Or if you can short the stock, then ride the momentum down. Essentially, just profit on both ways if you can. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I wanted to make this video, talk about the crazy week, tell you an update on how I did. I hope you guys did really well as well. Please leave a comment and tell me how you did. You don't have to give actual numbers, but if you did well and you had a solid week, I'd love to hear it. I also wanted to inform you a little bit about the short squeeze and what's going on in the markets, and then give you my predictions, of course, so you can be prepared like I hopefully will be for February. Thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate it. Please don't forget to like and comment. Please let me know your thoughts on Robinhood and what's going on with the markets and GameStop. I'd love to discuss it with you, or just join the Discord chat, and then you can talk and ask questions and see what everyone's talking about. So I'd love to have you in there. And then lastly, please subscribe to the channel and keep watching the videos. I love talking to you. I love doing this. And I hope that it helps you in some way. I hope it helps your trading. So thank you, Momo traders, for watching, and don't forget to ride the momentum to financial freedom. I'll see you in the next video.